People here in Maryland and across the nation are remembering Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tonight. It's been 50 years since Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, after inspiring tens of millions with his leadership in the civil rights movement. WJZ is live in Washington, D.C. tonight, where Vic Carter continues to lead our live coverage. Vic?
Hi, Jessica. Over the last couple of days, there have been practically non-stop observances of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, it occurred on this night 50 years ago. In Memphis, Tennessee, there are a number of observances, as you might imagine. Among them involved a choir from Baltimore, Maryland, from the New St. Mark Baptist Church.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Of course, those voices lifted in praise to Dr. King and what he meant to America, and certainly what it meant to those people who participated in that event today. Today, we were here at the MLK Memorial, which opened in 2011 to honor Dr. King and to remember what he did for this nation. Among the people we saw here is Stefan Ferguson. He is the only person licensed by the King family to recite Dr. King's speeches. Let's hear what he had to say.
To be here on the National Mall and for Dr. King to be the only non-president on this entire mall because of the work and his philosophy of love and peace and nonviolence, it means everything to me. And more so because of what it means to other people to be able to galvanize his works and to go out and do something.
And while I was here, I actually heard him delivering some of those speeches. I actually had to turn my head and look to be sure it wasn't Dr. King. He sounded just like him. And of course, in Baltimore, Maryland, there are a number of people who had interactions with Dr. King. Among them, the Reverend Marcus Garvey Wood. Jonathan McCall had a chance to speak with him today. Jonathan?
Yeah, I definitely got a chance to learn so much from just sitting down with him this afternoon. You know what? Pastor Wood has been the longtime pastor over at Providence Baptist Church for decades. But before he took over the pulpit, he was prepping for it with a young Martin Luther King Jr. at seminary school. For nearly a century, Pastor Marcus Garvey Wood has had a front row seat to history. Every picture inside of his room tells the story of a life well lived, including this one. He says he remembers fondly the man on the back row, third from the left.
He had a voice that could move people.
Not only did it move people, but it also sparked a movement.
They felt that he had been sent from God.
Even in seminary school, Wood said he knew that Martin Luther King Jr. had a gift that could bring people together.
He could get up and, without any manuscript, and speak whatever he wants to speak.
And 50 years after his death, Dr. King's legacy continues to impact generations.
I think that a lot of the issues that Dr. King was working for are, still persistent, and they need attention.
At the campus of Loyola Maryland University, Dr. King's words spread across the campus as part of a teach-in. Lily Gertz is one of the students now getting a first-hand lesson.
I'm part of what Dr. King did, and it's like we're still walking beside him.
He said that we have to fight to make this country better. He said we have to use our voice and lift it up.
Wood says he remembers the moment he heard the news about King's assassination.
King is dead. The king is dead.
It's a moment that still haunts him.
It's not so much the body that is deteriorating, but the whole mind is gone. And that's what happens when a great man dies.
And a nation 50 years later. And the people that we spoke with today say while it is important to honor the life and legacy of Dr. King today, it's also equally important to remember those whose shoulders that he stood on, and this fight still underway right now for equality and civil rights here in America. We're live tonight in downtown. I'm Jonathan McCall reporting for WJZ.
Jonathan, thank you. And another person who knew Dr. King very well was Andrew Young, who is a good friend of mine, and I had a chance to speak with him and ask him a couple of questions about his thoughts leading up to this date, remembering Dr. King's assassination. And he said, you know what? He says there's an African proverb that says that people will not allow you to die until they stop calling your name. And he said everywhere he goes, people always ask him about Dr. King. And as long as that happens, Dr. King will never die.